The kid gets the call. This is a special bulletin about a major development for the A's. That's next on Curveballs and Changeups, a baseball podcast straight out of Sacramento. I'm Steve Harmon, and this is a podcast for A's fans and baseball fans in general. I played the game. I once hit a Grand Slam home run in an over 30 baseball league. I covered the Bash Brothers A's as a sports writer in the 1980s and early 90s. I've been a baseball fan since 1967 when the kid down the block introduced me and my brothers to the game. And my first major league game was at the Oakland Coliseum in 1969. A note, I'm doing separate episodes for the A's and Giants now. You can listen to both wherever you can find podcasts. Okay, the news. According to reports, the A's are calling up their top draft pick from last year, Nick Kurtz. It is a lightning-quick rise to the top for the number 4 overall pick, who got a $7 million bonus to sign. And after 32 games in the minor leagues, Kurtz will make his major league debut tomorrow in Sacramento. He's expected to be activated tomorrow in the A's second game of the series Wednesday with the Texas Rangers, with right-hander Kumar Rocker going for the Rangers. Rocker has had a rough start this year, and especially with left-handed hitters hitting .410 against him, so the A's thought this might be a good time to start him. Kurtz is a left-handed slugger drafted out of Wake Forest University. He's 22 years old and made himself comfortable right away in the Pacific Coast League this year. In 20 games in Las Vegas, he hit .385 with 7 home runs, which leads all of the minor leagues. In all, in 2 brief stops in Single-A and Double-A last year and this year's Triple-A stop, Kurtz has 147 professional plate appearances total. He's hit 11 home runs in that time with a combined .336 batting average, with a .432 on base and a .689 slugging percentage. A's manager Mark Kotze told Martin Gallegos of MLB.com, quote, "We saw in spring training how advanced he is for his age, his approach, his ability to make adjustments. For a young player in his first full season to have that start that he's had, it's pretty impressive." At 6'5", 240 pounds, Major League scouts project him to be a middle-of-the-order long ball threat, a player a team can build around. He's considered in the top 30 or 35 prospects in all of baseball. Comparisons have been made to Jim Thome, the Hall of Famer who hit 612 home runs. Mix him in with Lawrence Butler, Tyler Soderstrom, and Brent Rooker, and the A's have the making of one of the best slugging teams in baseball. Add in a little spice of their leading hitter, Jacob Wilson, and you can see a future that holds a lot of promise, at least offensively. The main question is where Kurtz will play. He's naturally a first baseman and is not likely to be put in the outfield. But the A's have Tyler Soderstrom at first. He's leading the major leagues in home runs, so they'll have to find a place for Soderstrom. A's general manager David Forst answered the question directly today in Martin Gallegos' piece for MLB.com. Quote, "Force indicated that Kurtz will get the majority of playing time at first." Force revealed that Soderstrom has been getting pregame reps in the outfield over the past couple of weeks, so is expected to see more time in left field and at the designated hitter spot. Quote, "It's not every day you take your best hitter and ask him to move," Force said. "Tyler has been outstanding through this whole process. He's been adamant that whatever we need from him, he's willing to do." Quote, still quoting Forst, "I think the first thing you'll probably see is Tyler playing left field and Nick playing first base. We've also seen Brent Rooker go out to left field a few times in the last couple of weeks. He'll be out there, and Tyler will get a chance at DH. One possibility some have given thought to is to have Soderstrom also find his catcher's glove, return to his roots. Remember, he converted to first base after starting out as a catcher. Soderstrom played in 149 minor league games as a catcher, and some in the majors. Given some of Shea Langelier's problems behind the plate lately, he's made 4 errors, 3 pass balls, and runners ran wild on him in Milwaukee, and overall he's given up 25 stolen bases, only 2 caught. The A's might want to take a look at Soderstrom behind the plate. But with his stroke going so well, the A's may not want to mess with that for now for Soderstrom, and of course Langeliers is a key offensive piece in that lineup. All of this would make Miguel Andujar possibly the odd man out in the outfield, probably a spot starter either in left field or DH, if not ultimately trade bait. And it's not clear who will be taken off the roster when Kurtz is officially announced. Stepping back a moment, this kind of roster shakeup typically does have harmful impacts on some players. Andahar is one of the A's top hitters for average, but in baseball, as in life, age inevitably gives way to youth. According to Jonathan Mayo of MLB Pipeline, quote, talking about Kurtz, the A's took Kurtz number 4 overall in last year's draft with the belief he could move quickly and impact the big league lineup sooner rather than later. Running him all the way up to AAA to start his first full season after just 12 minor league games and 13 more in the Arizona Fall League was another pretty big tell of the A's plans for the game's number 35 prospect. Continuing with Jonathan Mayo's piece, quote, Kurtz has always been able to hit the ball with authority to all fields with easy over-the-fence pop the other way. Quote, he takes what he's given, can recognize spin, and handles lefties. All of this points to him finding his way in the American League West, even if there's little adjustment period. His Wake Forest head coach Tom Walter says, quote, he's got no weaknesses. Continuing, Walter says, sometimes I just sit back in awe and watch some of the things he does. He's like no hitter I've ever seen before. He's the best hitter I've ever coached. These moves to go with youth can backfire. Plenty of stories of top draft picks fizzling out. There are not that many who made the move almost straight out of college. Bob Horner is a name that comes to mind. The number 1 overall pick of 1978, jumping straight to the Atlanta Braves out of Arizona State, a 20-year-old kid who made his debut days after the draft. He hit a home run in his first game, wound up hitting 23 home runs in little more than a half a season as a rookie, and he became the Rookie of the Year that year. He never stepped foot on a minor league diamond and established himself as a power hitter immediately. Some trivia, Horner actually had been previously drafted in the 15th round by the A's out of high school in 1975. But he decided to go to college. Kurtz will make the jump the 6th fastest in A's history. Remember Mike Morgan? He debuted 5 days after being drafted in 1978, the same draft as Horner. But he was coming straight out of high school. And Morgan was definitely rushed, and that was a Charlie Finley blunder. He suffered 3 losses in 3 starts, went 2-10 the next year, and was finally sent to the minors for a couple years and returned as a 22-year-old with the Yankees. Later on, wound up playing 22 seasons over the 1970s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s, a rare 4-decade pitcher. And as far as the draft from last year, there's only been one other player from that first round who's made it to the major leagues, Cam Smith of the Astros. Smith was the 14th pick overall by the Cubs, but was the big piece for the Astros in the deal that sent Tucker Carlson from the Astros to the Cubs. Smith made it to the Astros opening day roster this year after only 32 games in the minor leagues. And last year he had .313 in that time with 7 home runs in the minors. One caveat, Cam Smith has had a little bit of a slow start, hitting .237 with 3 home runs and 59 at-bats. I think the A's are expecting more, but you have to understand there is a huge adjustment that's ahead for Nick Kurtz. And the A's are fine with that. They are aggressively promoting a new youth movement and have not regretted it. Rooker, Butler, and Langoliers have established themselves as solid core pieces. This year's Soderstrom and Jacob Wilson are giving glimpses. But then you also have Max Muncy, who has shown tools and talent, but may be in need of a little more development in the minor leagues. Most observers do not believe Kurtz will have that problem. Okay, just a quick look at the A's upcoming homestand. Tonight's matchup, Osvaldo Bido. He's 2-1 this year with a 2.61 ERA. Goes up against the veteran left-handed pitcher Patrick Corbin. He's 1-0 with a 3.86. He's one of the reasons that Kurtz is being held back until tomorrow. They don't want him facing a lefty in his debut. And then Wednesday, tomorrow, J.P. Sears, who is 2-2 with a 3.13, goes up against Kumar Rocker, who is 1-2 with a 6.38 ERA, who Kurtz will be making his debut against. Rocker has, as I said, had it difficult against lefties, so they're hoping that Kurtz can take advantage of that. And Thursday, J.T. Ginn makes his 3rd start for the A's, and goes up against the former Phenom, Jacob deGrom, who's making a comeback of his own with the Texas Rangers, and he's 0-1 this year with a 3.31 ERA. The A's are coming off a road trip in which they won 4 of 6, but they lost 2 of 3 to the Milwaukee Brewers. Their only win a masterpiece by A's ace, Luis Severino, who turned in 8 innings of 3-hit ball in a 3-1 win on Saturday. Severino was the picture of efficiency. He didn't walk a hitter, struck out only 1, and probably could have gone out for a complete game with his 92 pitch count. But Kotze went for the kill with a big gun Mason Miller ready to go. Miller struck out 2 for his 6th save. Miller has now struck out 14 in 7 innings, allowing only 3 hits and a walk. The A's had an ugly day the next day, though, losing 14-1 to the Brewers in the rubber game of the 3-game series. Milwaukee stole 9 bases, including 6 in the first inning. That laid wide open an issue that is making to the top of concerns for the A's, their ability to contain running teams. That falls on the pitchers as much as the catchers, maybe even more. But the Brewer runners were just getting great jumps, and Langoliers probably had no business making any of the throws. They had gotten such great jumps. Another concern is the A's defense, which is 29th in fielding in the major leagues, second to worst in the major leagues, with a team fielding percentage of .973, and they've made the second most errors in the majors with 21. And they come home to a place that has so far been more hospitable to visiting teams than them. They're 2-7 at home with an 8-5 road record. That's the best road record in the American League, second only to the Giants in the major leagues, which is a very positive indicator of what kind of team the A's can be. They've just got to figure out a way to win at home. Okay, that's all I have for today. Thank you for tuning in to Sacramento's Curveballs and Changeups with me, your host, Steve Harmon. You can find Sacramento's best baseball podcast on Apple Tunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and wherever else you can listen to podcasts. Please hit the subscribe button so you can get notified when my next podcast is up. Until next time, lay off the slider low and away.